One race into the season, we got confrontation, baby. We've got confrontation. I just wrapped up my whole race recap, finished recording, wrapping up. I log on to the internet. Ty Gibbs, Joey Logano, confrontation. Not really a fight, but there was a shirt grab. Logano grabbed him. They exchanged some not nice words. It's not a full-blown fight, but we are one race and we got a confrontation. Take a look at it. All right. Okay. Whew. Calm yourself. Calm yourself. I can't. I love fights. I love confrontations. I'm sorry. But Ty Gibbs and Joey Logano, this is like, these are two forces here fighting each other. We've got Joey Logano, the guy who used to piss people off all the time. We got Ty Gibbs, the guy who now sometimes used to piss people off all the time, but sometimes still does it. And they are colliding. So let's talk about this. Early on in this video, Ty Gibbs walking up to his hauler, and then he suddenly turns around. So Joey Logano either went, "Hey, Ty," or he yelled, "Hey," and following insult, you know, butt face or word I can't use on here. And they go to talk, and, you know, Ty Gibbs is waiting for him. He said, "Hey, let's go talk over here on the trailer." And Logano grabs him. Like, he grabs him by the shirt. Like, this is not going to be a nice, "Oh, hey, what happened back there? Oh, I bumped you. I'm sorry about that." This is going to be, "Listen here, you little turd." Okay? That's what it seems like it was going to get to. And that's what essentially it came down to. They're talking pretty aggressively. There's some pointing different directions. This track is pure NASCAR if you ask me. It's a short track. There's beating and banging. People wreck each other. People spin each other. And then this is what we get out of it. Tempers, anger, finger pointing, bad words, sometimes punches. And at the very end of it, we've got threats being used. Joey Logano, I'll remember that. I will remember that. And Ty Gibbs, I've seen you. I know what that means. I don't care. When is this going to come back? I really want this to come back. Like, I'm not saying at Daytona, like, flip someone in the grandstands, but, you know, we get to Martinsville, Richmond, a short track. You know, someone wants to bump someone out of the way, and then we have another post. I love post-race altercations, if you can't tell. Let's get into the race recap now. Acting legend and Hollywood stunt car driver Denny Hamlin won the Busch Clash this evening. Of course, some of you may be extremely confused right now and are thinking, "Oh, he just won his heat." No. They moved the NASCAR Busch Clash at the LA Coliseum up a full day due to the threat of dangerous weather. There's supposed to be really bad flooding and other extreme rain in Southern California, especially Los Angeles, and therefore, realistically, they would not have been able to get the race in between Sunday and I think Wednesday. So NASCAR made the unprecedented decision to actually move the race up a full day. This decision was very last minute. It was only announced like 4 or 5 hours before the race started. So they opted to refund all tickets. Entrance into the event today was free. And obviously, you know, because it was so quick, there was not a high attendance. I don't even know what the ratings are going to do, but I'm assuming they're going to be lower than what they would have been. And obviously, as I said, people are going to be mad. They're going, "Oh, look, the stands are empty. Ha ha." That's what Clash haters are going to say, or that's what LA haters or LA Coliseum haters are going to say. And to you, I say, they got like a 4 or 5 hour notice warning. But anyways, to talk about the race itself, now that you know that it was indeed today, Denny Hamlin won the race. Ty Gibbs and Denny Hamlin dominated this race. It was a Joe Gibbs Racing dominated race. Hamlin led 58 or so laps. I think Ty Gibbs led 84 or so laps, so over 140 out of the 150 laps. Fairly clean race. At the end of the first half of the race, there were a couple of cautions, and, you know, they had to restack them up because, you know, they actually had to run all 75 laps. They couldn't run 74 3/4. And then as for the start of that second half of the race, they have that halftime intermission that usually does a concert, but Machine Gun Kelly canceled or something like that, or NASCAR canceled on him. I don't know. But he was supposed to perform. He did not. And the second half of the race, the first part got a little bit ugly. There were some wrecks, there were some spins, but after that, kept it clean, started, weaving through lap traffic. The leaders had to do it by weaving. I mean, bump and running. That was when Ty Gibbs was leading. Joey Logano was closing in. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, those guys were up front most of the day. Then a caution with 10 laps to go hit. And Ty Gibbs, I said that he led the most laps in this race. Both times that he restarted from the lead, he blew it massively. Now, look, he's only in his second year in the Cup Series. It's an exhibition race. This is where you're supposed to make mistakes and learn from your mistakes. But both times Ty Gibbs had the lead, he ended up losing the lead in some way, shape, or form. Lost the lead to Denny Hamlin on this final restart and ultimately fell back, spun out with a couple of laps to go, meaning he would finish far down the order. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson were the guys able to get by him, and that's all it wrote for Gibbs. So heartbreak for Gibbs, but at the same time, it is just an exhibition race. This isn't the Daytona 500. This isn't the Southern 500 that he just threw away. Still, it does suck. Ty Gibbs has not won in Cup yet. And, you want to win at Cup no matter what, whether it's a points race or an exhibition. And this could, of course, also be the last race at the LA Coliseum. So, you want those bragging rights. As for everything else, as I said, pretty chill. But I thought NASCAR handled today pretty good, actually. The drivers, the teams, everyone seemed to respond very positively in terms of NASCAR moving the race up a full day rather than, sitting around waiting all day Sunday. Then the race is postponed to Monday. Then it's Tuesday. Then it's Wednesday. And then they're not getting out of there till Thursday. So the drivers, teams all applauded NASCAR and said, thank you for moving this up. It would have been a nightmare to deal with it otherwise after all the rain. So overall, I think it was the right decision to move the race up an entire day. Just because of the circumstances. It's an exhibition race. It's not the end of the world if this thing has the worst ratings, if it has the worst attendance. It's an exhibition race. It's a preseason race. If this was the Daytona 500, no, you cannot do this. You cannot move it up a full day. And if you do, you can't announce it 4 to 5 hours before the race actually starts. Now, once again, I know people are going to be mad. People are going to be upset. People are going to say, I saw comments in my video when I told you guys about the race being moved up. Some people were saying, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. Why would they do this terrible decision? Some people are saying, why is it on FS1? Why is it not on the Big Fox? Things like that. There's so many people running this operation. There's so many decisions being made. And when you have that tight 4 to 5 hour window, it really puts things in a bad position realistically. So ultimately, NASCAR was put in a tough spot, and I do think they made the right decision. But let's talk about the race results for the first time in 2024. You get to look at race results. Look at them. They're so beautiful. They're so beautiful, race results. Anyways, Denny Hamlin, as I said, is your winner. He led a good chunk of this race, was on the pole for this event. Ran a great race. He fell back early on after leading some laps, was able to make his way back up through the field. He was able to get that lead back from his teammate Ty Gibbs. And once those guys all started battling, knocking each other out of the way for second, he was able to pull away and get himself the win. So fun fact of the day, since the Busch Clash has moved to the Coliseum, which is 2 times, the winner of the race has won the championship in some form. Joey Logano won the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series championship, and then Martin Truex Jr. won the 2023 regular season championship. So Denny Hamlin fans, get your hopes as high as possible. This is the year, baby. Don't actually, okay? Seriously. It's a preseason race. Don't lose your mind, please. Don't come back and yell at me when Denny Hamlin ultimately doesn't win the championship. And if he does, then I was right. See? This is a win-win for me because I either just got Denny Hamlin the championship by mentioning that, or I protected myself and said, guys, I'm just talking here. Anyways, second place, Kyle Busch for the 3rd straight year at the Busch Clash at the LA Coliseum. Kyle Busch finishes in 2nd place. He is the king of that 2nd place on the podium at the LA Coliseum. I don't know what else to say. He came very close in all 3 years, led the most laps 2 years ago, was in position last year, was in position this year, just came that short. Of course, 2 Joe Gibbs Racing drivers, The irony. But ultimately, good race for Busch. Result doesn't matter. He didn't win, and there's no points for this thing. Third place, Ryan Blaney started last. It was a horrible start to the weekend for Ryan Blaney. He qualified outside of the top 22. He had to use that provisional points position finish based off of 2023 to get into this race. And everyone's like, that's kind of a stinky start for Blaney, championship hangover. But he rallied, ends up finishing third. Good job, Ryan Blaney. There's a reason he's a champ. Fourth place, Joey Logano, as I said, won the first ever Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. Good finish for him. Fifth place, Kyle Larson. Good finish for him. Sixth place, Alex Bowman. Good to see him back up at the front. Last year was a real struggle for him after his back injury. Seventh place, Chase Briscoe. Good job by him. Eighth place, Brad Keselowski. The first time that an RFK car has made the Clash while it's been at the Coliseum. Both cars had missed previous years. Chris Buescher did miss today. That was definitely disappointing. He did not qualify for the event. Another big name to miss the event, Christopher Bell, had that beautiful paint scheme that we talked about this morning. Oh, so beautiful. That Mobil 1 paint scheme. Missed the main event. We did not get to see it in the main race. That was sad. Anyways, Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, the two biggest names to miss. Austin Dillon, who finished on the podium in both the previous two Clash at the Coliseum races, he also missed this race. Ninth place, Martin Truex Jr., the defending winner of this race, gets in the top 10. William Byron finishes 10th. Preece 11th. Bubba Wallace 12th. John Hunter Nemechek in his debut for Legacy Motor Club 13th. Tyler Reddick 14th. Chastain 15th. Stenhouse 16th. LaJoy 17th. Ty Gibbs 18th. Man, it's got to sting for him a bit, as I said earlier. Led all those laps, was in position to win this race. But a late race caution put him in position where he had to get a good restart. And ultimately, he didn't get a good enough restart. And he fell back 4th, 5th. And then he was spun out. He ends up finishing 18th. So good momentum, I would say, by running up front, leading a ton of laps. But, at the same time, it's an exhibition race. It's the trophy or it's nothing. 19th, Michael McDowell. 20th, Noah Gragson in his debut for Stewart-Haas Racing. 21st, Justin Haley was running in the top 15 this entire race until a mechanical issue hit. He was running in the top 10 at times in this race. He's so good at the Coliseum, and I don't know why. But Rick Ware Racing, I know it's a preseason race, and I don't want to overhype things because it's a preseason race. We never see this style of racetrack again on the schedule, but could they be making a step forward? That doesn't mean winning. That doesn't mean the playoffs, but does that mean they're taking a step forward? I don't know. 22nd, Chase Elliott. He had some kind of mechanical issue after the halftime break. Todd Gilliland wrecked out early in this race, right before the halftime break, actually. Either some mechanical failure caused him to wreck or he just lost it, but something there happened. Only 23 cars in this race, as I said. The Busch Clash at the Coliseum. I've said it so much, you would think that they're paying me to say their full name. It's been a good run, if this is it. I personally have loved this event. I know some people have not, but it's a unique idea. It's a unique racetrack, and it's a historic stadium in the U.S. It's hosted the Olympics. I think it's had World Cup games there. Obviously, USC football, which is one of the most storied programs in college football, have played there. The Los Angeles Rams have played there. Tons of sports teams, tons of sporting events have been held at this iconic venue, and now NASCAR can say the same thing. And that's pretty cool if you ask me. And yeah, as I said, if we're going to move this to a different location, it would be cool to see either another iconic stadium or to go somewhere NASCAR hasn't really gone before, whether it be Mexico City, whether it be somewhere in the Northwest. I don't know where it could be, but it would be really cool to see this idea continue as the Clash. We'll see what ends up happening with this race in the future. Will NASCAR stay in the LA market in 2025? All that stuff. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be doing race recaps all season long, guys. So buckle up. We got 37 more of these to go. Whether it's a points paying race, whether it's a non-points paying race, which is only North Wilkesboro in the All-Star race at this point. Whatever it may be, we're going to be here to talk about it. I got NASCAR news for you. I got NASCAR race recaps, as you can see by the channel if you just go through my videos. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to the Daytona 500 2 weeks away.